So what we're going to talk about a lot today is closing time, okay? And we're going to talk about this, and you know, and this is kind of funny. I don't know what this is sound like this, but closing time is about like how are we going to close our businesses and actually start growing them. So let's assume you guys have picked stuff you love and you're getting out and going after it. How do we actually make these businesses successful? In a lot of your cases, you might not have successful exits or IPOs, but you just might have to build really good companies. And you know what the great thing about building a really good company is? Like you own it, and you run it, and you pay yourself salary, and you hire your friends, and you gotta build a company, and you know what, you don't have to report to anybody. And to me, like that's even more satisfying than like going through the pressure of an IPO or you know, having, and I'll tell you some stories about Boku, how much pressure Boku was. Like, it was a very high pressure company. We raised $80 million, we did 6 acquisitions. I mean, it was just all the time. Like, all we did was work. So you know, there's lots of good things sometimes not to have those other pressures, but we can talk about that. So I have kind of some quick reviews. The Capstone review, my impression and thoughts around Capstone, the graduation from Capstone to Incubator, how to more seamlessly go through that process, a review for my Incubator experiences, and then I'm going to go through Sales 101, which is probably more like Sales 201, 301, but like we're going to go through it all. Feel free to jump in, ask questions. I'm going to try to get you guys interacting, so be ready, start talking. If you don't agree with me on something, hey Kurt, maybe you didn't see this, feel free to speak up. This is open forum, right? I want feedback and I want to learn from you. And by the way, I've learned a lot from you guys too. And I've had a great time doing this. So I want to give you a little bit about my background, because I like to give you guys a kind of a whole story, so you see where I'm coming from, right? And you might, you know, I don't know what your impression of me is or what you think. Like, I'm not a person who went to Facebook and rode Mark Zuckerberg's wings and made lots of money, or went to Google and sat on my thumbs and like twiddled around and was one of 10,000 employees. My whole career in life has been trying to build companies, always. Okay? Now, I'm not like hugely successful at it, like I'm pretty good, like I'm okay. We've built some companies, make more money than I lost. I've lost some, I've made some. That's just the way it works, right? And so like, let me explain to you. My first business was this. I sold lemonade with my sister, 12 years old. We sold lemonade on the street. We made lemonade, we sold it to people. I lived in the South, it was really hot, people liked lemonade, and that's what we did. And we made some money. And then, you know, one day I woke up and I said, I'm gonna mow people's lawns. Because like I lived in the country, farms, and people had lawns the most. So I bought a lawnmower. Me and my buddies went out. We had like, I think we had 30 to 40 lawns, and we charged them anywhere from $30 to $50 a week. And we had a little business. We did some underwriting and whatever else. We had a business and we were running that. And then my dad did, and I did taxes. My dad still does this today. He does taxes. So like he sits in this little store, and in April we get tons of people and they need to do their taxes. And then off the season, people come in the stores and they do their business tax returns or their payroll processing and things like that. And then we automated and had software around it. And my dad still does part of that today. Jackson Hewitt's a big company. He sold part of his business to them, and but he still does that on a day-to-day basis. And this is out in the countryside in Tennessee now. And then I moved to Japan and I taught English. And I was interested in Japan and Asia after college, and these things got launched in 1999. And I was teaching junior high school students. And at that time I was like, oh my God, like every junior high school student had this mobile phone and they were on it and playing. And I was like, this is the future and I need to get involved. And I'm gonna like, that's gonna be my next step. And so like, I'm teaching in Japan and I'm like, how am I gonna get in this business? And like, that's exactly what I thought. And so I like worked hard to figure out how I got in that business. And I went to Hong Kong and I got a job at GE in finance. So I did that for 2.5 years. But I was still enthralled and I was looking at mobile phone businesses. And so I said, I want to go start my own mobile phone game business. And I think there's a group in here who's trying to start a soccer manager forum or whatever else. And I had a similar idea. I love playing fantasy sports games. And I actually liked football, European soccer. So I got some guys together and we started this. And this is back when we had these phones and we made J2Me, and we launched the Asia Cup and the Euro Cup, we did Formula One, we had a subscription model, we had about 12 guys, and we made money in Thailand and Malaysia. We did a subscriptions model, and we built that for about 2 years, and then we sold it to our partner in Thailand. Didn't make a lot of money, just kind of sold off the assets and software, and my partner and I decided we wanted to go back to the US. He was overseas Chinese, and so I did that. And then when I went back to the US, I stayed in mobile, because mobile was getting big in the US, and this was actually pre-iPhone. It was called Fun Mobility, and we did that for about a year and a half. And they exploded to about 40 million in revenues after about 3 years. And then the iPhone came out, and they did not pivot. And we had big arguments at the board level. We couldn't agree what was happening, so I left. And the company sequentially went to zero. It lives today with about 5 people. So, you know, that's what happens sometimes in companies. And that's what happens in technology when you don't move. So sometimes you have to change, you have to pivot, you have to go to market. So right after that time, I went to a startup called Scrib, which does ebooks, and they're still running. And I worked with these guys. They were 22-year-old guys at Combinator. So I joined them for about 6 months. And they weren't doing ebooks. They were doing ebooks and processing and all this stuff. And it kind of went and it worked. And it was growing, but like they didn't really know what they were doing. They were too young. They really didn't want to listen to what I had to say. And so I tapped out and said, I'm going to go try something else. And then I talked to some investors, a bunch of VCs I was friends with. I said I want to do mobile. I want to leverage my experiences, which is global, mobile, games, payments, and I want to do something big. And one of the VCs said, we're looking at this company called Bowlcast. They've got these deals, they're doing mobile payments. We think this is like a big idea. We've got some senior execs who are going to come in and run it. And I said, okay, sounds good to me. Like, so they put us all together, they put a team of 5 together, and we actually started with this platform called Bowlcast out in the UK. And it was very simple. Facebook games, you could pay all these Facebook games with your mobile phone in 12 countries. And I started off there, and then over 7 years, and I'll talk to you more about the business evolved, and I'll talk about the sales strategy and all that. And then 3 years ago, we closed Sony, became a very sophisticated payments platform, and it is where it is today. There's many billion in revenues with Apple, Sony, Microsoft, and so forth and so on. And so that's kind of been my career evolution, and today I just have a consulting company where I work with companies going to Asia. So this is my side project, and I've taken some time off. And consulting is a good way to take time off when you guys get a little bit older, build experience, and you can help companies. Consulting is a great way to make a little money, pay the bills. So that's kind of what I do, and that's been my career. And so now you kind of have a better idea where I'm coming from. So as far as the capstone review, I think some of the things that I've seen that just kind of highlights a few thoughts. Just make sure you find something you're really passionate about. Whether you have an experience and you're trying to solve it, or it's just something that just means a lot to you and you really want to dedicate the time to it. So just make sure that you're aligned with that. Just don't do something for the sake of doing it, because you might regret that. Try to leverage on past experiences or knowledge. It's the best way. You know there's a problem, try to do it. You know there's a skill, you know you've got experience there. Try to do it. You don't always have to, but usually 9 out of 10 times if you do that, you're going to be more successful than that. Needs, try to solve a real problem. Try to double check yourselves. We really are solving a problem, okay? A lot of you are not always sure you're solving a problem. They're kind of solving a problem. If you're kind of solving a problem, like here's a problem, and somebody's solving the problem this way, and you're solving the problem 15 degrees, you're not solving the problem. You're not different. Like you need to really solve the problem. Like you need to be 90 degrees different. Then you're different, okay? The other one that's tough is building entertainment, wants. So if you're in the business of providing things that people want, they don't necessarily need, like fantasy sports games or soccer manager or online radio, you're not very high risk business. You're probably in a game of 0 or 1. Either you're going to be really big and really successful, or you're just going to like blow it and you're going to have nothing, right? And which is okay. But just know you're going into it, and entertainment's hard. So know what you're going into, and maybe give yourself a timeline to be successful, okay? Hey, we're going to go give this a shot for 6 months. Good. If we can't get anybody, and it can't scale and get some real traction, maybe we should try something else, okay? So that's some ideas. Keys for capstones. Make a vision statement. 5 words or less. If you can't explain it in 5 words, you're not clear enough. Does anybody know why? It focuses your brain and your team. We connect event vendors with event program managers. You get it. I tell you, the whole team knows what to do. I don't have this long statement, right? This is very simple, okay? Do market research. And so we got some consultants in here, and they're very good at that, and I'll go over a little bit of that. Speak to a few customers, and make a plan to execute your MVP, your minimal viable product. Haven't seen a lot of plans yet. The capstone guys are still early. So love to see that sometime. Again, vision statement. Nike, it's a great product for needs of an athlete, for footwear to health monitoring. Very simple. You get it, right? Now they've grown from a shoe company to like an everything company, so they're doing more. So it's a bit more complex because they're older. So keep in mind, to always strike a vision statement with your team quickly after you guys get going. What prepares you guys for the challenges ahead? Anybody have an answer? Anybody know? You're getting ready to go, and you're thinking, and you guys are, hey, what's the best thing you can do to prepare yourself for what's going to happen? Easy answer. Anybody? Research. So the consultants will love this. Very simply, do a lot of research. There's two types of businesses. Blue sky. So if you get into a blue sky, there's nobody playing in this market. You've got a big opportunity ahead of you. Just make sure that there's a reason nobody hasn't done it before, or there's, other people have failed. Well, just make sure you're really, truly in a blue sky. Blue sky in America is very different than blue skies in Ghana, by the way. Blue skies in America is artificial intelligence, self-driving cars. Like we're creating the market. It doesn't just exist. Like we're going to create the new thing. Whereas in Ghana, it's like, oh, this thing works there, and so maybe we can make it work here, and like nobody's doing it, and so like we can go do that, right? And so that's like blue sky market, okay? So kind of check that. The next market is disruptive technology, okay? Truly disruptive technology has two features. Tell me what it is. Not hard. Cheap. It's cheaper than existing solutions. That means the market exists. I love businesses where the market exists. People are paying for this already. And you're cheaper and better. It's a no-brainer. There's a great book called Innovator's Dilemma, Disruptive Technology. You're cheaper and you're better. In the radio analytics business, there's people paying $5,000 a month for listening to audio. There's, I guess, rooms of people listening to audio, like counting the number of times these words are checked. Well, you can create a technology that monitors that, and so it's like, okay, very simply, $2,500. So it's half the price, it's better, it's more accurate. Boom, you win, right? It's disruptive. So there's two types, and so like sometimes you always have to remind yourself, what market are we investing in? Just be clear about your market. You have to know your market. Okay. Two keys: disruptive as a better technology and lower cost. Do you have an advantage? I've asked every one of you, do you really have an advantage? And so that's, do you truly have a competitive advantage? Like, how many competitors are out there? How is my product different? Do I have a pricing advantage? Do I have a geography advantage? Do we really have an advantage? Like, double check yourself. Before you do this, you guys should all be at the table and say, yes, we have an advantage here. We truly have an advantage. If you cannot say that 2 hands down, you don't have an advantage. Okay? Convince yourself over and over you have an advantage, because you do this 6 months down the road. You want to at least have said, we thought our hypothesis was we had this advantage and we didn't. Assuming you execute well, you don't like all get in arguments and throw chairs at each other and just don't do anything. Like you actually execute and it works. That like, oh, we had this hypothesis, we had this advantage, but it worked, or it didn't work. And that justifies to yourself why you did this. A lot, this is science experiment thinking, right? Okay, so remember that. SWOTs, I'm sure you guys seen this. Put together a SWOT every now and then. Here's our strengths, here's our weaknesses, here's our opportunities, here's our threats. It's nice to have it. Put it on the wall. Okay, this actually changed 2 weeks down the road. There's a new competitor. The threat is not obviously what we thought. There's an opportunity. The opportunity is a little different. Change it up, and it keeps you in mind what's happening. And then you've done all this. What's the best way to get started? Quit talking. So, quit talking and do it. All right. So, a lot of thinking in the incubator. I think you guys do that. A lot of noodling, the capstone projects. At some point, you just got to stop talking and go, right? And it's go time. And I think some of the guys in the incubator have gotten there and they've done a good job. So, some capstone to execution. I gave everybody in the capstone 3 tasks coming out. Here's the 3 things you need to do. Go do that, right? So remember that. Create a team plan. I haven't heard a lot of plans, right? You're going to hear this from me a lot today. Get a plan in place. What's your milestone, by your date, by your time. Hold people accountable. Like if you can't hold each other accountable during the capstone idea to the execution phase, you're going to have a problem when you're 10 people or 15 people. Start putting plans in place. Plans are simple. They're Google Docs, they're Excel sheets. Guys, this is our month plan. We all agree? Okay, let's go. this is what we're going to finish by the end of the month. I can't sit over your shoulder and check to make sure you're coding the right way. I have to trust that. And I have to trust that on Friday of next week you delivered on the 2 features you're told me you're going to build. If not, and I'm the CEO, I've got a problem, I have to make a change. I need a real CTO. That's just business, right? Get an MVP out as quickly as possible. Get it out. Guys, you can do a lot of MVPs. I talked to here. You probably don't even need tech. You can go talk to people. You can just get ideas going. Hey, we'll just, even in the events idea with Stella that we were talking about, matching these people, you can just do phone calls. I mean, you could just be like, hey, we'll just match it up for you. Let's just see if it works. If we can match it up, you start to just, you don't always have to do tech. Or the market research firm, we can just set up an event. We'll bring in 50 college students. We'll test the lipstick. You can do this very quickly sometimes. Set a date on execution. We're gonna go do this for 3 months, guys. Heads down, 3 months. We're gonna execute this. We're gonna get back together. We're gonna gather information. We're gonna iterate. We're gonna change. If you don't have go time, then you don't have any time. You've got to have go time. You've got to have a time when all of you are clicking and going and trying to figure this out. Full execution, trying as hard as you can to gain customers. Otherwise, you can't get the information you need, whether you can proceed or not. So remember that. Minimal viable product. I see some of this in your MVPs. Okay? And then if you're like this, your customer is going to be like this, and then you're all going to be confused. Alright? So MVP should be real simple. Keep it simple, stupid. 1, 2, 3, check. Okay, that's an MVP. Right? Sometimes the business people, while the tech guys are developing, could be doing, as I said, non-technical MVPs. Right? There's a balance between the business people and the tech people. The tech people don't want to be bothered by the business people, and the business people should be by the tech people after the specs are laid out. Stay out of the tech people's hair. Go do your work another way. Okay? Stay out of their hair. It's the best way to start getting people angry in an organization. Incubator review. Okay, so you guys have any questions before I jump into the incubator? So we've got the capstone, we've got the kind of segue into the incubator. How's that? So far so good? Yeah.
So the key for the capstone, where they make the visuals, I didn't get the rest of the
Keys for capstone. Maybe I can send this out. Make a vision statement. Do your market research. As I think the teachers and the lot of consultants here, they can help you with that. I'm sure they've talked about it. Make sure you speak to some customers and then make a plan. Okay. And have a team agreed upon plan to execute. I can put this up on Google Drive or whatever together. Incubator review. Positives. I've seen some product fit has been discovered. It's great. Figured out a product that's selling. You made some money. You're making money. That's good too. And you've overcome difficulties. That's good too. Sometimes you lose people. Sometimes you change. You're going to go through difficulties. You have to be resilient. The negatives. I don't see everyone really understanding their customer. That's why I think this guy is here. And going to be very, very helpful to your customer success plans. You guys who are in the incubator have to start understanding your customer. I dig deep into your questions, you can't answer them. Spend time on understanding your customer calls, really understand why they're buying the product, what they're doing. Make sure you understand that if it's a consumer or if it's an enterprise. I haven't really seen operation plans. Nobody really, again, I had some meetings. I think some people are trying to figure some things out. By the time you're in this phase, you should be able to walk into somebody and say, here's our plan. Here's a product dev plan. Here's our sales plan. It's just a simple plan. Here's what we're trying to execute against. Can you help me? If you lay that out to me, then I can really have a discussion with you. Like without seeing that, then I'm pulling things out of air. Okay? Everyone, even this one-man show, you should have your own plan. So that, I know you're coding. We talked about doing 2 more weeks of coding, wrapping your product up, then you're going to sell to these 5 carriers. Put it in a plan so you know what you're doing. Okay? I haven't seen any hardcore hunters yet. Okay? You can't build a business unless you got hunters, guys. I haven't seen any hunters. Some people are in no man's land. I don't know if you're coming or you're going or you're just having tea. I mean, if you just want to hang out and have tea, you can do that. kind of up to you. You don't have to go build a $1 billion company. You can build, if one of the companies is doing $20,000 a month, it's fine. If they want to do that, want to hang out all day, they can do that. It's fine too. Maybe that's all that company will ever be. You can accept it as that's all that company can get to. But you kind of have to decide what you want to be. So let's say you're in no man's land. You're this guy, kind of in war, you kind of hit puddles, you're alive, you're kind of going along. How do you get out of no man's land? Anybody?
You die out.
What's that?
You die out.
You die out? No, you don't have to. Boku was in no man's land for 4 years. 4 years. It was fucking war, battle. You're getting shot at. Make a plan. Real simple. Everything's simple. You just make a plan. You remake a plan. Start over again. Remake a new plan. Okay? It's always a startup. A startup just doesn't mean you're a startup today. It's likely in 5 years you're a startup. It's likely in 10 years you're a startup. Your mentality will always be a startup. You're looking for new products, customers, ideas. Make a new plan. Jumpstart your organization or your team. Let's make a new plan. Okay? This is kind of working. Let's not scrap it totally, but let's change it. Let's make a new plan. Okay? You're in no man's land. Make a new plan. Reignite the ship. Reignite the team. Okay? Plans look like this. What's my goal? What's my action? Who? When's the target date? It's real simple, right? And then it rolls up to financial plans. Like, can we achieve these things, right? All types of plans. So make some plans. And then don't sit on them. Execute against them so you know what they're doing. So a few things to detail. Customer success. The most important customer is the one you have. Take time to understand them. Do surveys, calls, interviews. Make a plan how you're going to get them better. Customer success can optimize your business how much percent? 10, 20, 40? Good customer success man knows he can optimize his business 40% just by knowing your customer. That's a lot of revenues, especially if you're making $10,000 a month, right? Product development. Guys, wrap it up. See a lot of product creep, a lot of people still working on ideas. Make a plan, finish the product. There are many companies who have built $1 billion companies on shitty, excuse my language, products. Salesforce built a massive business on a product they sold, didn't change for nearly 15 years. 15 years they had solely sold the same product across the world. And nobody could compete with them because once they got into sales and enterprise, nobody would switch out. Sales wins. Tech doesn't usually. Who gets to market first wins, guys. Make your product, finish it, create a product roadmap, and go sell it for a while. Okay? You've got to start selling. You've got to get out there. So make your roadmap, keep the tech guys. Alpha, we got this. Beta, we got this. Once alpha hits, doesn't change until the next release. If it's a SaaS product or whatever it is, the guys are selling for March. You might even stop all development and have the whole team go sell for a while. Actually, it's great when technical people go sell. They learn really what the products are. They learn the process. And it makes the team work a little better too. Make a sales plan. Target key verticals, and I'm going to go into this a little bit deeper. Target key verticals, make like us, his accounts, and sell, sell, sell. So when you plan to get out of no man's land, if you feel you're in no man's land, you're spinning cycles, you don't know to go left or go to right, make a plan. Go hard for 3 months because you don't know what you don't know. Give yourself a period of time, pick a direction, and go. Go for 3 months. Hope is not a plan. I hope this will work. That is not a plan. Told to me by a very successful CEO. He says, Kurt, hope is not a plan. So remember that. Remember that. There's 2 things done in organizations, especially at this level. There's only 2 roles. You build it, you sell it. If anybody's doing anything else, they're not doing something. Everybody in a small organization is building or selling at this stage. You build a technology, you get it to market, you build a brand. That's where you develop competitive advantage. Okay? Okay? If you get your radio software, your consolidated, what we call it, software, and you get a deal with MTN, you win. Nobody's going to come behind you. You work that deal, you get 1 million people, 1 million subscribers. You have a business. You have a real business, right? Okay? You build it or you sell it. So when you're thinking about your organizations, guys, we're building or we're selling. Nothing in between. Okay? Nothing in between. If there's one selective CEO, that's fine, they can manage. So you have a CEO, CTO, a sales guy, and some operations, and it looks like this. If you're getting bigger, your CEO should be finding and hiring good people, spend money on the road raising capital, looking for strategic deals and outlining the vision. That's all the CEO does. He should be out all the time talking to people, finding investment, finding strategic deals, figuring out where the business should go. Okay? Your CEO does that. Even at this stage, it's a sales job. It's a big sales job. Okay? CTO, finding good technical hires, builds the product business vision, keeps it running, right? So you guys should be in the office, making sure everything works as long as it's needed, and finding the right people to make it work. And you're solving problems. The VP of sales, you should have a salesperson, and they should be out running. They should not be in the office 75% of the time, maybe more. I spent 7 years at Boku. I probably spent 10% of my time in an office. I probably was in the San Francisco office 1 week every 3 months, traveled around the world, traveled around the US, and just kept in touch through Google Documents and things like that. Phone calls to people, trying to do that. The guy who keeps it together, if you start scaling a little bit as a VP of operations or product, they organize the team. The business guys should be out and about running. The tech guys are working. This can be marketing or UI, whatever this is. But really, you're at this intersection. Okay, making sure, hey, what are the product priorities from business? There's a buffer here. There's a buffer. That buffer is important to keep these guys working well together. Okay, so this buffer is important at some point. So make sure that buffer, in other words, the business guys, the sales guys aren't calling up the tech guys. Hey, develop this feature for me. That doesn't work. It should be like product guys. I think we need this. Product guys sit down, they analyze it, they figure it out, they prioritize, and they come back. Okay, so make sure you have that buffer. All right. So that's all I have for kind of my review. And now I'm going to get into how to sell and sales processes and the fun stuff. Any more questions on incubators or what I just went over? Is it helpful at all? Was it more of the same of what you heard? Sorry?